morning, everyone. Let's try again. Come on in here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning if you are joining us here in the sanctuary or online today. Every day is a special and different day around the Unitarian Universalist Church of Chattanooga. Every day is a bit different. Today, it is Chattanooga's Pride Festival. So we're going to have a shorter service. The order of service is a little wonky because we switched gears. You'll see the map, and we're going to have a table down there today, so you're welcome to come visit us down there. I know I'm going to be at the table and several other people today. Let's see. Oh, there will not be special music by the choir. Please don't panic if you're in the choir and think you have to run forward and sing about animals. The pet blessing has been postponed, and we'll sing that wonderful song later. Welcome. Welcome to this space. My name is Reverend Mandy Goheen, and it's my honor to serve this congregation as its called minister. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm just so glad that you made the time to be here with us this morning. Our opening words are by Hannah Robert Villeneuve, and it's just opening the idea of where pride comes from, and this poem is called A Protest and a Party. People sometimes ask, is pride a protest or a party? And the answer, of course, is yes. And why not? Why not rejoice as we resist, dance as we demand change, celebrate as we create community in the delight of all of who we are? So bring that with you this morning. Bring your policy demands, bring your glitter, bring your Supreme Court broken heart, bring your rainbow socks, bring your emptiness, bring your love for siblings gone too soon, bring your Gloria Estefan remix, bring your tender hope for change, bring your most garish eyeshadow, bring your spirits tattered and battered by the world that seems to insist on choosing fear and hate. Gather up all these things and bring them here to a place where we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone. Come, let us worship together. In the tradition of Unitarian Universalists all over the world, we light a chalice to represent the beginning of our service, and I would like to invite, who am I going to pick on because I didn't have someone planned ahead of time? I don't know. How about Bart and Diana? Will you come up and light the chalice as we read the chalice lighting words found in your order of service? In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. We're going to rise, embody your spirit, and grab this hymnal. No, not that hymnal. Never mind. The gray one. The gray hymnal. It's an exciting color, so I wanted to grab it. It matches my hair. Okay. We're going to sing 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Today
we're skipping the special music about pets today. But we are going to have a pet blessing soon. I was thinking fall. This is a period of time that we celebrate the Feast of St. Francis in the Catholic tradition, and that's a pretty cool guy. He loved animals and peace and all people, and he was a saint I grew up appreciating and loving because I was such an animal kid. Today, though, because we're celebrating Pride, I wanted to bring some voices of Unitarian Universalists into the room. I identify as hetero. I do not understand the oppression and the pressure on people in the same way as someone who identifies differently than me. I have inherent privilege, and while my voice is important as the minister of this church, the voices of those who have experienced the need for justice are more important. So our meditation today is called For Pride by Louis Van Leer, and I invite you into a time of quiet and thoughtful meditation. They will march, walk, wheel, dance, shimmy, and shake, block upon block of undulating color, flesh, banners, signs, clothing, or lack thereof, hands raised and linked apart together, singing, shouting, chanting, silent, joyful, tearful, nervous, afraid, proud, defiant, angry, happy, delirious, tentative, ecstatic, courageous, brave, free. The stereotype, the unrecognizable, the flamboyant, the ordinary, the parent, the child, the runaway, the lost, the lonely, the found. The gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, queer, intersect, questioning, allies, those who taunt and jeer, their banners of hate 10 feet tall. God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, burn in hell. The other slogans, straight but not narrow. I love my gay child, side with love. One day of the year out of 365, Mardi Gras out of the season, festive, tame, booths, food, shopping. Underneath there is history, resistance. It was the marginalized of the marginalized, drag queens, transvestites, the butch and the femme, who, unlike Rosa Parks, did not sit down, but in their tired rage stood up and rose up and fought back, holding the police captive in the bar they had come to raid. Their weapons, their oppression, their hands, their beer bottles. Stonewall, 6 days of riots in New York, 1969. A year later, a march in Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, and now, any weekend in June or October in Tennessee, anywhere around the word pride. Why do we march? For those who are not able, for those who have been murdered, for those who have been ravaged by disease, for all those who are still beaten and still taunted and still harassed, still victims, still targets. Why do we march? Because some truths ain't self-evident, because all men ain't protected equal, and we love a good party. They will march, walk, wheel, dance, shimmy, and shake, block upon block of undulating color, flesh, banners, signs, clothing, or lack thereof, hands raised, hands linked apart together, singing, shouting, chanting, silent, joyful, tearful, nervous, afraid, proud, defiant, angry, happy, delirious, tentative, ecstatic, courageous, brave, and free. Now is a time in our service where we invite people forward to come light candles for the joys and concerns that you have brought here today. If you're online, we'll be lighting candles for you, and if you'd like to add one in the chat, just let me know. I'll be lighting an extra candle today for my beloved who have gone through rough times because of their identity and who they are. And in this space, we are ready to hold your joys and concerns with tenderness and love. May all that you need hold you in the joys and sorrows that you bring forward. May you recognize this as of a place of welcome, that those can be shared. Pride. Pride for a straight ally. Pride for a fierce parent. I think they call us mama bears. Pride for anyone who shows up on my doorstep and needs a little mommy action. That's what I'm good at. And I had a house full of squealing teenage girls this weekend amidst moving, and just thinking about having a world where choosing or not choosing is okay, but being is what you are. Being what you are and being authentic is welcome. This is a welcoming congregation. That means we hold radical welcoming for anyone who identifies as queer. I don't wear stuff like this. Like, this is not my gig to wear a Roman collar, although I did want to be a priest when I was a little girl, which kind of worked out today. But the reason, as an ally, I am wearing this collar is there is a tradition that clergy would surround people in protest and keep them safe. This marks me as someone safe. Walking downtown today with a collar on is different in Tennessee and other places where people are rejected by churches repeatedly. I was very, I'll just use the word angry this week about local politics. Angry that a mayor would speak out against people in this city in 2022. Quite frankly, disgusted that I would be told how to parent my children as if someone else had the answers and the right way to do it. There has been threats against businesses this week, threats of violence, heightened security, and if you are an ally, it is time to get your color on and get around people who need us. It seems preposterous that on October 2nd, 2022, people might not be safe in our city because of something we thought we took care of a long time ago. But we have to be vigilant, and our work for justice never stops. One of the famous things that was quoted by Martin Luther King is, "The arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice." And one thing I like to say is sometimes you got to jump up and down on it to get it to bend. Sometimes you have to put your weight, your stubborn ounces into that. And never stop remembering that every time we are brave enough in public to be an ally, to wear a pin, to reach out to someone who needs us, we are living our Unitarian Universalist values of the first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And what I'm calling the politicians in our county to do is behave like they have some inherent worth and dignity. That we are their constituents. They need to take care of our people, and there is no reason to be stirring up unneeded hatred and violence in the name of what somebody thinks is moral or right. That is not the place. The place of politics is to protect the kids in this county. That is one of my joys that I want to share today. On Monday night in this very space, we are starting a county-wide youth group, citywide. It's a Chattanooga youth group. We're going to be handing out flyers at Pride, a place where young folks can come in high school age, where there aren't religious hooks involved in them being together and doing justice. Nothing that asks them to come in because they're bad and we need to fix them. We're inviting people in because we want to be changed together and become more whole as we remember our inherent worth and dignity. The love I feel for living here in this space and the beauty of the fall coming and the weather changing is enough for me. I don't need it tinged with the drama of politics. Politics already corrected. I said before that this church is a welcoming congregation. I believe the year was in the 90s, but I can't quite remember the exact year we became welcoming. We were one of the first churches to announce we were welcoming to LGBTQIA plus people. But we're not the church that has "we love all y'all" on the sign right now. We've gotten a little quiet about that. We need to remind people that this is a space for religious growth and spirituality, a safe space, a harbor, a place where they can be and talk the way they need to be and talk. Now, we cannot promise you will be comfortable here because we are a people of liberal religious values, a people who feel it holy to push back. But still, if that is the space you need, this is the place for you. And we're so glad. I see so many people who've never been here before. Amazing. I did dye my hair for Pride, but nobody was surprised, and it was just a really good excuse. It has been many different colors. This is a place where we celebrate who you are and how you feel and what you think. This is a place where we can argue and disagree in a loving way and come back together and do the good work of the people. So I want to just leave you with this today. Take a little of this place with you out in the world. Take it where you need it. Take it next time you see someone being picked on or bullied, or sometime you perceive another person with the same privilege as you may be misbehaving a little bit. Say something, but start it with "I love you. I love you, and I can't believe you're behaving this way." If I named a political person, Weston Wamp, I love you. I can't believe you're behaving this way. If we start out with hatred and violence, we're not fixing the problem. We're coming from the same place. And I know that love can shine so much brighter than hate. I see it every day. And let's take that shining love with us and keep countering oppression and loving the world. May it be so. So this is when we do our offertory, and I see a lot of new people. When the offering plate comes by you, if you're new here today, just let it slide on past. It is our great gift just to have you with us. If you've been here 1,000 times, there's all kinds of ways to give. There's an offering plate in the order of service. There's a text to give number. There are many ways. But when you give to this community, you're supporting our mission to care. And specifically today, you're supporting our mission to care for the people at the Pride Festival. And that's what we're doing today. And the offering will be gratefully received. Offertory response, which can be found in the order of service. We give these gifts freely, committed to our mission to care, create beloved community, awaken hearts and minds, resist injustice and act with compassion, embrace life and care for the earth. To this work we dedicate our offerings. I said this was going to be quick, so Bart and Diana, would you please come back up and extinguish the chalice with us? That was a nice little short one. Are you ready to join me? It's in the order of service again. We extinguish this flame, but keep the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. I have another closing reading by Otto O'Connor. On a holy night in 1969. On a holy night in 1969, in an inn also known as a bar, called the Stonewall Inn, a basement which had no running water, no safe exit, queer people of many colors and kinds danced together, for that was the only place where they were allowed to dance, at least permitted to by the mafia who ran the inn. In those days, it was common for the police to frequent this inn, not to join in the dance, the underground celebration, but to send dancers home and make arrests. When they arrived, the light would go on, the people would line up, and then all those in drag, all those who were trans, all those without proper identification were arrested and taken into custody. But on this holy night, that early morning of June 28th, the people said, "Not tonight." And they called them to line up, and the trans women refused to go. As the police began to beat and arrest them, and the people spilled out from the bar onto the street, on Christopher Street, a crowd grew to watch, and then trans women, lesbians, and gay men were getting arrested. And yells came from the crowd, "Gay power!" And a trans woman was shoved, and she shoved back, and the crowd began throwing bottles at the wagon, and suddenly erupted. For once the people didn't line up. For once the people said, "No more, we've had enough." And if it was almost as if that night, being pulled out of the darkness of the underground Stonewall Inn, one too many times, they said, "I'm ready to be seen." On this holy night, when the power of the oppressed rippled through the streets of New York, when queer people said no more, our world would never be the same. 53 years ago, it was illegal to be gay, to be trans, to dance, and to love, and to celebrate. And now, 50 years later, here we are celebrating in this church, gay and straight together, queer and straight together, trans and cis together, all in this together. And so, as we hear these stories of life and love and defiance and celebration, let us also remember to pay attention to our movement's ancestors, many of them trans women of color who led the first rebellion that night. You see, Pride is a celebration of that anniversary, the anniversary of that riot at Stonewall Inn in New York, a holy night. So happy Pride, and welcome to the joyful celebration. Bring your whole selves. You're gay, you're lesbian, you're bisexual, you're transgender, you're queer, you're drag queen, you're butch, you're femme, you're cross-dressing, nail painting, tutu-wearing selves. You're gender queer, gender fluid, agender, pansexual, QUILTBAG selves. And all the other identities that are and will be. And let's have a celebration, because the joy in the rebellion too. And in this church, people are queer, and queer is fabulous. Amen. And now I think we have some announcements and some. Do you have a social justice moment? You want to come do that first? Yes.
So,
Wait.
Hi, I'm Judith. I'm one of the chairs of the Social Justice Committee. For those of you who might not know, we are having a workshop today at 1 o'clock. It will be talking about the environment. You're all invited to come. I brought a brown bag to have some lunch as I wait. If you brought one, great, or if you want to get some food and then come back. So we'll have this each Sunday in the month of October at 1 o'clock. So the reading today for social justice is from James Baldwin. I thought this would be appropriate both in terms of the environment and in terms of pride. So here's what he says. The world changes according to the way people see it. And if you can alter even by a millimeter the way people look at reality, then you can change the world. Thank you.
Do we have any other announcements? Is this on? Yes. No. So I just want to say that the potluck on Wednesday was awesome. We're having potlucks on second and fourth Wednesdays. And it's just a really good time to reconnect. And if you're new, it's such a great time to come back and just get fed and hang out with some awesome folks. Also, if you haven't been here in a while, it's a great time to come back and eat together and come see us. It was a real joy this week to eat together. Also, there will be coffee hour on Wednesday. Look at your order of service. It should have some interesting things. Spread the word about the youth group. There's flyers. We'd love you to take one and put it up in the coffee shop where you go or any kind of community centers. If you work in a school, you might sneak one up on the bulletin board. But please spread the word about our youth group that's starting tomorrow evening in this church. What else is a good announcement? Next Saturday, leaders of the church are invited, and the leaders and the curious are invited to our quarterly council meeting. We'll be doing planning for the year and doing a little bit of leadership development. There will be snacks. It's from 10 to 12. Coffee, I know, will be available. One of the things I just want to say that this church has done for justice, and I want to leave us with this celebration, unless somebody has an announcement. Am I missing? We're also going to talk about this amazing art on the walls next week. This is all from our congregation's art project. I just want to point out, oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. Yay. We're going to hear from those folks next week and more about what they're doing. Some people are selling their works of art. I'm willing to get in a bidding war with that moon one in the corner. If someone wants to give more for it, then I already said I would. And oh my goodness, just amazing. So thank you all to the artists so much, and we'll be hearing more from them next week. I felt like I was getting ready to say so. Oh, I just want to say that this church has taken action this year to support the LGBTQIA+ community, and maybe you don't remember what you did, so I'm going to point out. We have decided to not rent our church on Saturday. We used to rent our church to the Church of God every Saturday, and we would collect money for that, and we've kind of gotten over the hump of doing that, and part of that issue was with their anti-queer agenda, and you know, it was very telling when they rented the building a month or two ago. Again, they had one more rental this week. Is it over? It's on Wednesday. Don't come on Wednesday. I'm kidding. They left the Black Lives Matters banner in the front, and they put the rainbow banner in the office. Like, that's how hard that is on them. So I just think that thinking about how we receive and spend money in this church is also justice, and I just want to say how proud I am of everyone for helping make that transition, for this to be a truly welcoming space, because if people who are oppressive are in this space, it doesn't send a very good message. So I'm really proud of that, and I think that really is taking us to the next level of being a welcoming congregation. And if we do have money and privilege, let's support people who need us, not just the broader corporate world. So thank you all so much for coming today and being patient with a short service. I know that if you come to the Environmental Justice Series today, you can still go to Pride after, because it goes on quite on to the afternoon. And I look forward to seeing everyone next week and the week after, and I'm just so glad to have been here today with all of you. Have a wonderful afternoon.